from profiting on resale. And it would be in your original deed, and it really has nothing to do with the association itself charging capital charge. This, in other words, developers have put something in the contract which would mean that they would profit on every resale for that house for the next 100 years. That's not related to this type of capital charge, as far as I know.
Other than these 4 items, do you have any additional things that you think might be able to increase our revenue?
You know, off the top of my head, these are probably the 4 most common items.
So our long-range planning committee was on track.
And I mean, the repair and maintenance services have worked well for some communities, and actually some others have faced it. So it depends on how well it's used and how well it's delivered, like everything else. We have one community that actually has a service to open up a home before the resident comes down to see, and even do things like stock the refrigerator and do stuff like that. You know, again, it's what you can, what you're doing.
Thank you.
Bill, do you have any comments or questions? Okay, I have one additional question here. You talked about allocating the surplus from golf in subsequent years, since we don't have a surplus, so to speak. Or are you talking? What do you mean there? Or are you talking about if we had one, we should possibly do that? I'm a little fuzzy on that, please.
No, thank you for bringing that up, Neil. We did see, we actually did have a surplus from the audited financial statements back in 2007. This is what we were given. But really the concept would be, yes, if once we make whatever adjustments we're going to make with regards to fee rates, descent, shotguns, all that stuff, if we cost control, revaluing, all that stuff, if we end up in a surplus position, that arguably you consider designated that to reserves for golf, probably. You said no questions?
Female. You suggested introducing a food and beverage minimum. In other clubs where they have introduced this, how has it gone over? Did it work well? What problems?
I mean, as you know, there's always going to be some segment of the membership that's probably not going to be happy. But generally, it runs smooth. I mean, it's an accounting, it's really more of an accounting issue once it's in place. It has to be kept track of.
I know I asked this before, but I think it bears repeating. Are you familiar with any homeowner associations that are structured the way we are now with prepaid golf, heavy assessments to subsidized golf, that have transitioned over to the zero optimal pricing arrangement that you have? And did they transition over a period of years, or did they do it from one year to the next? Is there an implementation plan somewhere that somebody has that we can use?
Bob, in particular, I don't think we know of any that have done this, but I think that this, in a way, maybe stands, I don't want to say as a warning, but perhaps as of what potentially could be on the horizon, and simply needs to be, you need to be aware of it over time. This isn't going to happen next year, or even the year after, but over a period of time it may. The economy changes and you get more golfers in the community. You know, potentially this may not be an issue.
The comment I would make, it's anonymous, but not directly to that, was we do have a number of communities that transition from allowing non-member usage, particularly with golf, to totally private. Which by definition obviously is killing a revenue stream other than members. So, you know, there are game plans out there for how that was done, because obviously it's a pretty simple, we're taking away X amount of revenue from outside the gates. The cost remains the same, usually golf, So here's what has to happen to assess. If that transition has happened, there is in place.
See what they're doing out here.
I'd like to follow up a little with one other question that Val addressed, and that is the capital contributions on the property resales. Is that consistent among the majority of the series to be charging capital resale?
No, not all of them. Some do,
Any idea how many, what percentage?
not all of them. Bill is saying that a majority do.
Thanks.
I want to go to the comment about the non-cash environment for food and beverage. Is that something that you typically see in the series?
Yes, a member charges only.
Member
Charges only.
non-cash.
Non-cash.
Okay, great.
No
And in the series, do we generally see an employee meal allowance?
Yes. And that practice, is everything from just, the office staff. I mean, there are parameters. Usually, the food and beverage staff get a meal. The office staff, they get a meal. We have some that you can feed the golf course maintenance staff. Obviously, that wouldn't happen.
Thank you.
You mentioned that the shotguns should be looked at. Is there any kind of percentage that you can see would be gained by having tea times?
I can give you that right here, Val. The analysis we did was certainly discussing this particular concept with golf professionals at other series and club managers at other series. And unanimously, they came back with, you can get more, and someone's been good enough to hand me some analysis that they've done in the break. Thank you, Kurt. But unanimously, they came back with the tea time approach. Now, again, we stress that you guys have got to balance that out with everything else. But really, that's the comment again was also made to us that it can be proven by the pro. The pro can show you exactly how you can do it. And that's what we suggest. That obviously, that's where you can get PGA offers also all sorts of services to come in and help you with that. So again, you guys, I think, I guess it's as good a time as any to certainly say to the residents that the people we've dealt with on your board have conducted themselves very professionally in all our interactions with them. At no point, we obviously have brisk discussion and interchange. That's all part of the project. But at no point did we receive, if you will, pressure to go one way or the other. And I think that's really a comment to where do you all go for the residents? I guess it's lunchtime. Tea time. That's tea time.
Shotgun, 1 o'clock.
I think you get my point. Bob and I just want to go on record with you guys as saying thank you for the professionalism as board members that you showed back to us. So thank you.
Thank you very, very much. And again, we'll take a break for lunch and